He's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know. I mean, in pure intellectual capacity.
Welcome to Open Source News. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Have a blessed day.
Welcome to Open Source News. I am your brother and your host, BCP. I don't know what I'm going to call this. The midnight, the late night, the late night update. I put a video out this afternoon. I'm recording this very late. It's actually almost past midnight, so we're almost into Friday. Earlier, I put a video up with a lot of different stories, and there's follow-ups. There's developments in those stories that I did previously. So I want to cover those here in this little special segment. I don't know how long this is going to be. Probably not very long. If you don't understand the references, a lot of them will be to the previous episode, but I'll try to fill you in so that you're not totally in the dark. By the way, if you enjoyed this video and these updates, and if you enjoy the work we do here at Open Source News, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. We are once again on the naughty not nice list on this platform. Our videos are not being presented to the same audience as they were just last month, because we are not down with the LARPing program that the mainstream media and the AP has called as of AP as of November 3rd, November 4th, and the LARPing continues. So, but we're going to get into that in this episode. And a very Merry Christmas. So let's first start off with Sidney Powell. I had reported earlier that she does have a case in front of the Supreme Court docket. But this is what she tweeted out. She said, the Supreme Court electronic filing system shows our emergency petitions docketed for Georgia and Michigan, but slow walking with state response not due until January 14th. Now, why is that significant? First of all, it's an emergency petition, and Georgia and Michigan have been accepted, but they're being slow walked with a state response from Georgia and Michigan, respectively, not due until 8 days after January 6th, when Congress is going to debate the Electoral College votes. In other words, slow walking it so slow, making it such a non-issue, making it so that it's a non-issue when they finally get the filing. What the Supreme Court is doing is absolutely horrendous. They have no cojones, they have no brass pair, they have no chutzpah. They just keep passing the buck, kicking the can down the road. I want you folks to realize that none of these cases that the mainstream media and the left and the Democrats and your frenzied friends and family who are MK Ultra'd by the mainstream media incessant repetition of false claims, what they don't realize when they keep saying, oh, they keep throwing out these cases, that's exactly what it is. They keep dismissing them. They do not even hear. There has not been a case that has been tried where the evidence has been presented for the people and the courts to see. They just keep denying not President Trump, but the people's day in court. And yet again, here we go with the very evil, deep state, seditious. I absolutely think this is seditious and treasonous on the part of the Supreme Court, not hearing such a vital issue. It says, and then she goes on to say that today it finally submitted their Arizona and Wisconsin emergency petitions filed Friday that were inexplicably rejected. So once again, they had some issues. They had submitted Georgia and Michigan, which are being slow walked, and Arizona and Wisconsin they had submitted, but inexplicably they were rejected, and they had to finally submit them again, Arizona and Wisconsin. That's how I'm interpreting this.
With Facebook Shops, connecting people with your business just got easier.
You can bridge the gap between an online store with storefront.
And here's why, because she goes on further to say they were submitted electronically Saturday morning, and all copies hand-delivered and fees paid. Supreme Clerk refused to give reason and will not return phone calls. What is going on? Unprecedented lack of professionalism. So it was submitted on Saturday, it was hand-delivered and the fees paid, and no one will pick up the phone to let them know why the hell they did not put through Arizona and Wisconsin. No one's responding. Once again, this is how a bureaucracy and a Marxist government works. They do not respond to the people. Also, pay attention to the graphics that Sidney Powell put down. She said she put down this little meme graphic, whatever you want to call it. there are but two parties now, traitors and patriots. And then she put 1776 again, freedom, liberty, unity, knowledge. So if that wasn't bad enough, the dumb onion systems, the machines for voting, have a defamation lawsuit over Sidney Powell, calling what she's saying baseless, essentially baseless conspiracy theories. You're not entitled to your own facts. So Business Insider gives these bullet points. Dumb onion has sent a letter to lawyer Sidney Powell threatening to sue her for defamation if she does not retract her baseless claims about the company. Her lawsuit and public statements are premised on a theory that this company has secret ties to foreign governments and flipped votes from 45 to Joe. This is their statement. And tell me if this isn't ridiculous, and I will break down the philosophy because I've had to deal with this. Quote, Dominion has never provided machines or any of its software or technology to Venezuela, nor has it ever participated in any elections to Venezuela, the letter obtained by Insider said. It did not receive $400 million from the Chinese in the weeks before the 2020 election. It has no ties to the Chinese government, the Venezuelan government, George Soros, Bigfoot, or the Loch Ness Monster. Now, this is an age-old, tired tactic of the left and other minions and stupid people alike. This last part here. Let's break it down. It never provided machines or any of its software or technology to Venezuela, nor has it participated in any elections to Venezuela. Okay, no one ever made that claim. See, this is how they mislead the people. There's no claim that Dominion has provided necessarily the machines. It's that the machines use software that was the software that their machines use was created and by in Venezuela. And even though essentially it's the same thing, they can make that claim because the companies have gone through buyouts and mergers and acquisitions and name changes and shell companies. But the source of this information that's in the machines does indeed come from Venezuela. But they make it sound like we've never provided machines. Okay, it's the smart, the matic of the smarts. Okay, that is the framework that's found himself in these dumb onion machines, and that is the claim. But they're doing it backwards. It's a straw man argument of sorts where they're fighting against something that she never even claimed that happened. She claimed that their company is using software, not that they provided it to Venezuela. Not in this name, not in this form. And that's how they get you on they twist one little point that you never said or is inaccurate, and then they try to universalize that and make everything that Sidney Powell said inaccurate. But in fact, she did not say that. Nor has it participated in any elections to Venezuela. Of course, once again, that's because this company didn't do it in this form. It was the Smartmatic and the previous iterations that did and were involved, but not the latest iteration. And that's how they get around it. It did not receive $400 million from the Chinese in the weeks before the 2020 election. Once again, this is a game of semantics, if you will. The money didn't go, hey, the Chinese didn't give them $400 million. They did it through the partners and venture capitalists. It came from the CCP, but not directly. That's how they can say, we never received money from the CCP. Because there's middlemen and there's private equity firms connected to the CCP and all these other companies, but not directly for them. The CCP is not stupid. They don't just hand money over to a voting system. That would be a big flag. Hey, we're meddling in the U.S. elections. Of course not. They did it through circumventing laws and all kinds of things. They did it circuitously through all these different mechanisms, but in fact, they did do it. But of course, the company can say we never received that money because, in fact, they never received the money straight from China. The Venezuelan government, George Soros, once again, none of these companies or these organizations, these governments, or these people are going to give the money directly. They're going to do it through other means. And then Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, once again, trying to delegitimize valid complaints, valid filings by Sidney Powell and other patriots, trying to equate that as a conspiracy theory that's crazy like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. I have a friend, the Doc, if you've been here for a while, that has been trying to debate me. I've cut him off I realize that some of the friends I've had that I've been patient with that are Democrats are absolutely evil, vile, wicked people. Oh, BCP, you're passing judgment. Yes, you're wicked, vile, and evil in my book. If you knowingly know that something is wrong, false, and you push a false narrative, you lie to your own friends for political purposes, knowing damn well that there's plenty of evidence, at least intellectually, there's so much evidence that at least you can't say that it's baseless and there's nothing to see here. If you're saying that and you're trying to talk down to me, just because this former friend of mine is no longer a friend of mine, is a doctor and oncologist and all those other things, I'm telling you, so the most educated people are some of the stupidest people I have ever met, and it's becoming more and more apparent every single day. You don't believe me? Look at Dr. Jill's dissertation if you haven't seen that. I haven't covered it here because that's not the kind of shtick I generally do, but it's pathetic, funny, hilarious, and sad how stupid some people that are educated are. I'm not perfect. I make all kinds of mistakes. I mispronounce words. I flub up on this show. I have no script, folks. This is me. I have no script. There's no look. Here's my hand right to the camera. Okay? There's nothing between me and you talking to you. This is coming from me. So yeah, I'm going to make mistakes and what have you. I never said I'm infallible. I don't commit foibles or I'm perfect. Never said that. But I consider with my economics degree, and it has nothing to do with anything, I consider myself with my common sense, with look at things with my own eyes and ears, and you do too. That is why we are of the same family. That's why we make a connection. That's why there is a connection between myself here and you, the BCP family worldwide, because we ain't stupid. All right, we see what's going on, whether we have degrees or not. That goes out of the window. It has nothing to do with anything. We delve in facts, evidence, and proof, and to say otherwise is crazy. So I digress, but this is what I want to say. This former friend, Doc, was saying, was texting me like, do you really believe City Powell this? And then he says, do you really believe that there's a whole bunch of alien reptilians in the government? Did you know that Nigerians believe that? So first of all, I cut him off. Okay, I found that one insulting, but once again, it's the same thing here. We don't believe we have no ties to Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. Trying to delegitimize legitimate conspiracies. These are not theories. These are conspiracy facts. These are things. There's paper trails. CNN, for goodness sakes, covered Smartmatic and Venezuela and the machines back then. Okay? So this is not right-wing conspiracy stuff, but they try to delegitimize and marginalize by bringing up things like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. In this text, the stupid idiot doc said, "Oh, look, do you believe reptilians too? Oh, do you think?" The next thing I was waiting for him was saying, "Do you believe the Earth is flat?" Strawman arguments to try to delegitimize legitimate things, and that's what the Dumb Onion Company is doing here. They said in this filing, the Canadian founded company sent Powell, a former federal prosecutor, a letter on Thursday demanding she publicly retract her wild, knowingly baseless, and false accusations about the company's machines. The Washington Examiner has obtained the letter in which the company called her theories predicated on lies that have endangered the business and the lives of its employees. I love how everyone is in danger on the left when we bring out the truth, but no one ever mentions the actual violence and threats made against truth tellers, whistleblowers who sign affidavits, who can't get jobs, who are blacklisted. The blacklist that was started by the Democrats for anyone that worked or supported President Trump. But they always say, oh, you're putting us on the left in danger. Once again, it's projection, the left projecting upon everyone what they actually do. So anyway, while you are entitled to your own opinions, Ms. Powell, you are not entitled to your own facts, the company wrote. Although the indisputable facts, if they're indisputable, why are they being disputed? Therefore, by definition, hello, they are not indisputable. I am no genius, but I think that's obvious to anyone who isn't a Marxist hack, who isn't an evil Luciferian. Although the indisputable facts all point to the conclusion that this was a free and fair election. Yeah, all indisputable facts. There hasn't been a whole bunch of lawsuits that have all been dismissed, not actually heard. Why? Because they'd be discovery and evidence would be presented, and the people wouldn't realize what's really going on. That is why Giuliani and Jenna Ellis and many others have had these public hearings in the different states to put forth evidence, because they are still being denied their day in court to present this evidence. That is why they think they can get away with saying indisputable facts that all point to the conclusion that this was a free and fair election. You launched a media circus and fundraising campaign that undermined confidence in American democracy and peddled false, inherently improbable, and defamatory claims about Dumb Onion participating in an international conspiracy to rig the election, deeply damaging Dumb Onion's hard-earned reputation and business in the process. Funny how it took them a long time to do this, send this letter, and they did it after the safe harbor date and after the Electoral College has supposedly cast their vote. Well, they did cast their vote. Very interesting timing on this. And I could spend all day, all night breaking this down, because we're now past midnight at the time recording this. East Coast time. This is a free and fair election. You launched a media circus and fundraising that undermined confidence. Yeah, Sidney Powell is undermining confidence by pointing out how we should not be confident in an election that is allegedly wrought and fraught with all types of irregularities. Freaking credible. All right, now Sidney Powell has made the claim that there are ties to China. There has been a series of tweets by the Department of State over the last day. This is on the 16th, coming from Mike Pompeo's State Department. Let me show you this first one. This is President Trump off a plane. I don't think it's a United plane. I think it's Let's Be United. President Donald Trump: America is a sovereign nation, and our first priority is always the safety and security of our citizens. Then a little bit later, this tweet from showing Secretary Pompeo: it's taken this country and indeed the free world a long time to understand the trajectory of China today, with a video. I'll play the video for you in a second. Then a little while later, there was this other tweet from the State Department. And once again, quoting Secretary Mike Pompeo: the Chinese Communist Party poses a real threat. We want China to engage on the world stage the way we ask every other nation to. And the quote there, the graphic, quote, the Chinese Communist Party poses a real threat, Secretary of State Michael R. Pompeo. And then they follow this up with this last tweet: the Chinese Communist Party's threat to American national security extends into our financial markets and impacts U.S. investors. Learn how money flowing into major indices supports Chinese companies involved in military production and human rights abuses. Then now, in this last one, highlighting specifically the market manipulation and production of military goods that is done through U.S. companies and markets through a Chinese plot. Okay? No conspiracy. This is coming from the State Department. So let me play that video for you right now so you can see it for yourself.
Now, it's taken this country and indeed the entire free world a long time to understand the trajectory that China is on today. In fact, we're not quite there yet everywhere in the world. There's no one to hold accountable for this. That's not the important part. Because for a long time, Republicans, Democrats, leaders all across academia, institutions, commercial space, thought that by trading and engaging with China, that the Chinese Communist Party would reform itself, it would loosen up, it would embrace economic and political freedom, and it would present less risk to freedom around the world. But instead, that's not what we got. Instead, the Chinese Communists used the wealth that was created by this to tighten their grip on power over the Chinese people, and to build a high-tech, repressive state like the world has never seen. General Secretary Xi Jinping has made clear his intentions. You only have to listen to what he says. He says he wants total control at home and to make China the #1 power abroad. And he's well on his way to working on that project. He's building up the People's Liberation Army. He's manipulating international organizations for Beijing's benefit.
In the Romo household,
we take things to the max. Oh, yeah. Honey, you still in bed?
Yep. Bye!
That's why we love Skechers Max Cushioning footwear. They've maxed out the cushion for extreme comfort.
It's like walking on clouds.
Big comfy ones.
And he's engaging, as we have seen in TV only just these last 2 days, he's engaging in a vast influence campaign all across the world. And that may, for some of you sitting at home today, seem like a long ways away and very ambitious touch for Xi Jinping to make. But I must say, he has his eye on each and every one of us.
Very interesting. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo say they have their eye on us, on every one of us, on us. Of course they do. They are spying through the tech companies. They are in bed with companies like the parent company of this platform, all kinds of social media like TikTok, etc., worldwide. Yeah, they definitely literally have their eye on us. Scary thought. And they're not some benevolent, great country. And of course, we love Chinese people. It has something to do with our great brothers and sisters of China. We love them, and we feel very badly for their being oppressed. We're talking about the Chinese Communist Party, their party members, their Marxist, and their evil rulers, if you will, that are spying on us. And of course, they are using people of influence to have control over American policy. The biggest guy that we should be worried about that is the LARPing President-elect himself, Joe Biden, through his connections with his son. Now, in a total obvious act of propaganda by CBS News, whose name, CBS, is very fitting, Stephen Colbert, who is a comedian and is now wants to be taken seriously as a journalist, and Joe Biden, who wants to be serious, instead of appearing on a serious journalistic outlet, appeared on Stephen Colbert's show here on CBS. Now, because CBS always hits when we show Colbert clips, we're not going to show the Colbert clip from the Colbert show. We're going to show you the clip as it was used by fair use, I would guess, by CBS this evening. Check out this this clip. I'm going to have to break it up a few times to comment on it, because once again, that show and that station always wants me hit me with copyright violations, or when I show that specific show, they don't like clips being shown more than a few seconds. But I'm going to show it to you. It's a short clip. You'll see what malarkey this really is.
Tonight, President-elect Biden is defending his son Hunter amid an investigation into the younger Biden's taxes. The president-elect and Dr. Jill Biden sat down with CBS's Stephen Colbert for an exclusive interview.
We have great confidence in our son.
Let that sink in for the judgment of the LARPing president-elect Joe Biden. He has complete confidence in a person who has shown all types of lack of restraint, from having issues with minor members of their family in a pervy type of way, who is a drug addict, who was kicked out of the Navy, who was sued for child support, and has had all kinds of, and is in all kinds, has had, and currently has all kinds of legal things looking into him. Now, once again, you're innocent until proven guilty, but he's been proven guilty and shown to be guilty of lots of things, yet this is the man that has his hand on the button. Where is the 25th Amendment screaming for Joe at this point? Oh, yeah, not yet. They want to wait till it's official. Then they can do that to get Cam in. Yeah, anyone who likes or trusts Biden should distrust the fact that he has full confidence in his drug addict son, who passes out, leaves things in rented cars, doesn't pay child support, and is an all-around pretty pathetic individual.
I am not concerned about any accusations been made against him. It's used to get to me. I think it's kind of foul play, but look, it is what it is.
This is Biden being honest. He's not concerned. The whole deep state is covering for him and for Hunter. You don't believe me? President Trump's attorney general hid from the public the investigations into Hunter Biden, therefore giving an in-kind contribution to Joe Biden in the elections. He's got nothing to worry about. The deep state is very deep, and they're on the side of China globalist Joe.
And he's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know. I mean, for the pure intellectual capacity. And as long as he's good, we're good.
He's a grown man. Oh, wow. Yeah, he is. But he acts like a child. And as long as he's good, we're good. And then he says he's the smartest, brightest man. What? Let me play that again.
He is the smartest man I know.
If Hunter is the smartest man that Joe knows, he needs to get out more. And it doesn't speak very well for all these advisors and people that he's been naming to these role-playing positions. If Hunter is the smartest guy he knows. But, you know, it's not like he keeps himself with very bright company. And once again, you can look to his left. And please, I'm not going to cover it here, but you got to look up. You got to look up the lampooning and the criticism that Dr. Jill has received for her master's or her doctorate dissertation. I mean, math errors like 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 7 quarters plus 10 quarters equals 100%. I'm exaggerating, but the math is that bad. Look it up if you haven't, and thank me when you get a good chuckle from it.
As a father, I understand that, and I admire that.
Generally, it's admirable when people support and think highly of their children. But when your son is making deals with the enemy to undermine America, to line his and your pocket, lies about it, and has the entire U.S. FBI, Department of Justice, and Deep State behind him to hide his crimes, that's not something to be.
A bath fitter bath is installed quickly, safely, and beautifully. With a lifetime warranty, the beautiful bath you've always wanted. Done right, installed by one expert technician, all in one day. Book your free virtual or in-home design consultation.
Proud of. Nice try at pathos there, Stephen Colbert. Nice try.
But I mean, in terms of your job as president, can you reach across the aisle to people who will be using this as an attack on you when it is such a personal attack because it's about family?
Oh, you can't go after a grown man, Biden just said it, his son Hunter, because it's so personal, because it's about family. Oh, that didn't seem to stop the left and you, Stephen Colbert and CBS and your late crap show, going after Don Jr. and Ivanka and Eric and Melania and even little Barron. Well, little in age. Guy's a giant now. So ridiculous. Hiding behind, it's a personal attack. Yeah, it's a personal. If you are a crook and your family is a crook, I don't care if it's a personal attack. If the attack is true and founded. And if it's baseless, then let everyone come and show their cards. But of course, they don't do that because they know, and we all know, this is all a charade. There's nothing honorable about these seditious, treasonous, traitorous, guilty, lying, deceitful rat bastards.
But if it benefits the country, yes, I really mean it.
If you and your illiterate and bad at math wife really cared about what's good for the country, you wouldn't have done deals with China, you wouldn't have run, and you wouldn't have been part of, by your own admission, one of the biggest operations of deceit and fraud in this country's history, if not the biggest. Probably the biggest. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I want to end with one last follow-up. If you watched the last episode, the question was put forth to you, my BCP family members. By the way, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. When it comes to January 6th, we know that in the House of Representatives, that Representative Mo Brooks said he is going to contest the Electoral College votes, the vote, and open up a debate. But and it looks like Jim Jordan will as well, and I'm sure there's other people in the House Freedom Caucus, who will do that. There's a lot of true patriots in the House of Representatives in the Republican Party. In the Senate, we have Ted Cruz and possibly Senator Hawley. Well, the question I had to ask is, who else do you think might step up? And we have indications of someone that said they might step up. Someone who currently isn't yet quite a senator.
President Trump just endorsed Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, that big breaking news shaking up Alabama's political landscape tonight.
Jeff Sessions, the first U.S. senator to endorse then candidate Trump in 2016, now getting the ultimate cold shoulder from the commander-in-chief.
It didn't take long for Tuberville to react to the president's tweet.
It sure didn't, Byron and Lenise. This all going down just before news time, playing out on President Trump's favorite way to communicate with the masses, Twitter. The president tweeting, Tommy Tuberville is running for the U.S. Senate from the great state of Alabama. Tommy was a terrific head football coach at Auburn University. He's a real leader who will never let make America great or keep America great or the country down. Tommy will protect your Second Amendment, which is under siege, is strong on crime and the border, and truly loves our military and our vets. He will be a great senator for the people of Alabama. Coach Tommy Tuberville, a winner, has my complete and total endorsement. I love Alabama.
Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville indicated in a video that surfaced Thursday that he thinks the Senate should support a challenge to the results of the Electoral College, which certified President-elect Joe Biden's victory this week. Tuberville suggested he would back a challenge Representative Mo Brooks has vowed to bring against the vote. If a senator joins Brooks, it would require the House and Senate to debate and then vote on the issue.
I'm going to play that clip for you in just a moment. This will be the concluding story for this update. But what's interesting is that the person who recorded this apparently turns out was some sort of liberal activist and made it in their deceitful way, which I don't have a problem with really, because it's very similar to what, for instance, what James O'Keefe and Project Veritas do. But this is what it says. It says that it appears that Tuberville believed he was speaking with another rally-goer rather than a liberal activist. And this was put up by Windsor. Lauren Windsor asked the senator-elect what he could do to fight to make this election right. The video was taken Wednesday night. I'll play it for you in a second. Tuberville's campaign did not immediately respond to a request from comment from the Hill, but earlier this week, Tuberville campaign chairman had said that the senator-elect might back the Brooks effort. Quote, I think that he and Ted Cruz, referring to Tuberville and Ted Cruz, are the two best candidates to do this, said Stan McDonald, Tuberville's campaign chairman, during an interview on WVNN radio in Huntsville on Tuesday. I don't know yet if or when he will do this. He's very seriously considering it. And if you watch my last report, my last two episodes, I've talked about what a swamp creature Mitch McConnell is. I showed you in the last episode that Mitch McConnell on a call Tuesday, him and some other Republican leaders asked and were calling for Republicans to stand down on January 6th and not contest it. Remember, per the Constitution, if someone brings up the motion in the House, and I believe it has to be seconded, or it has to be seconded by a senator. In other words, there has to be a debate in both houses of Congress. This will be a joint session of Congress on January 6th. Then they can debate and make changes or weigh in on the Electoral College vote. It can't be done if just the House of Representatives does it. It must also be done by the Senate. And it looks like with Ted Cruz, which I surmise, he hasn't said he'd do it, I don't think, but I think it's pretty obvious that he would be one to do it. And we have Tuberville saying that he'll do it pretty much. Let me play the clip for you, and we'll call it an evening, morning, night, or whenever you're watching this. But let's play this before I give you my last 2 cents.
Folks, we got to grab a hold and hold on. We have no choice. Listen to me now. We have no choice but to win this election. They're going to try to steal it. They're going to try to buy it. They're going to do everything they can, lie, cheat, and steal to win this election, like they did in the presidential election. It's impossible. It is impossible what happened. But we're going to get that all corrected. I'm going to tell you, don't give up on it.
Are you going to fight to make this election right?
Pardon?
Are you going to fight to make this election right?
We're going to fight hard.
What can y'all do on January 6th? Madison said y'all had tricks up your sleeve.
We're going to run into it at the airport. Just wait. Well, you see what's coming. You've been reading about it in the House. The Democrats are not going to. And we're going to do it in the Senate.
I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts? Does it look like President Trump was right in backing Tommy Tuberville? How do I pronounce his name? Put it down below. I always forget. Even though I just played a clip on how they pronounced it, I always get confused. But it is midnight, so please forgive me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and join the Patriot family if you haven't already. I guess this little short update on looking at the runtime was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but there's a few other stories I covered in here that I was going to put off into the next episode, but I figured we'd do it right now. Have a good one, folks. We'll have another report for you as we go into the weekend. Please receive a big hug from myself, Mrs. BCP, and our entire family. We are a news outlet here that is family run and operated and owned, but we consider you our family as well because you bleed red, white, and blue like we do. Until the next one, please receive a warm embrace virtually, but know that if you were here in Southern California or some of our other studios and other states, that you will be receiving that hug, not virtually, but physically. Please receive it in the meantime. Merry Christmas. Until next one, goodbye, ciao, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us on Open Source News. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any real news.